Batman Arkham Origins is a prequel/placeholder video game made by DC and Warner Bros. Montreal that came out in 2013. It was created under 2 years of development cycle, which forced it to reuse assets from Batman Arkham City in its creation to get one more of these games out for the 2-year gap, and not make the fans wait too long for Batman Arkham Knight. However, despite the limited development time, W Montreal managed to write down a decent enough story that gave me the excuse to play and stream through it from December 22nd to 25th, with probably just 5 people in total watching it. Having gotten this footage recorded while streaming the game, I decided to take the opportunity and edit it into a similar kind of review I did with Nier Replicant and Injustice Gods Among Us. Or something like that in between. The former was more of a quick joke review, and the latter a long recap essay. I think I'll use them as templates to recap my experience with the game for this video. On Christmas Eve, a decade or so before the events of Batman Arkham Asylum, there was a riot at Blackgate Penitentiary. Batman, on his second year of operating, flew in and intercepted Black Mask and Killer Croc tearing the place apart, while rescuing the Calendar Man from his execution. They honored the law of equivalent exchange by putting the police commissioner Globe in his place in the gas chamber. For this murder, Batman pursues them onto the roof of the prison, but only manages to catch Killer Croc and a memory card from a broken drone as Black Mask flies away. Leaving the Crocodile Man for the police, who also want to take him in as an illegal vigilante at this point, Batman flees back to the Batcave and recovers the data from the drone's memory card, which is revealed to belong to the Penguin. Besides some revenge porn that the Penguin has recorded for blackmail purposes, the memory card also reveals that Black Mask has hired 8 assassins to kill the Batman on one night only deal of $5 million reward. Killer Croc was one of them, but he is already taken out, so that is 1 out of 8 mission complete. Knowing that the assassins would use hostages to pull him out of hiding, Batman decides to spend the rest of the night hunting them down, but is hindered in the beginning by some guy named Edward Nashton, who just ends up wasting Batman's time. Catching and interrogating one of Penguin's arms dealers, Batman managed to track down the Penguin, spending his Christmas Eve on his repurposed cargo ship, and throwing a Fight Club themed Christmas party for his workers. And one of the assassins just happens to be hanging out there, but gets taken down so easily that Batman forgets to restrain him, and the electrocutioner gets to run away while Batman goes to interrogate the Penguin. While doing that, Batman also gets to save the son of a fan service mob boss, and right after getting a tip about Black Mask having been murdered in the southern part of Gotham, tiers above the previous one assassin shows up to give Batman the most advertised boss fight of the game, which I cheesed through on my first try by spamming the Batclaw. For winning against Deathstroke, Batman takes away one of his toys and leaves to take a look at the murder the Penguin told him, and is then forced to deal with a triple palm thread set by a child playing an anarchist. After calling his parents to pick him up and ground him, Batman goes to investigate that crime scene that the Penguin told him about, and finds 2 people dead from long before the game's events. Because the scene has been set on fire, Batman cannot identify the other victim the traditional way, and so needs to physically hack into the National Criminal Database for a DNA comparison. Physically, as in from the GCPD servers at the GCPD headquarters, with most of the corrupt police officers tempted by the $5 billion bounty on Batman's head. After getting through the SWAT officers on the roof, around the detectives' desks, and after dealing with a staged riot and the holding cells, Batman manages to get to the server room, where he meets the police captain Gordon's daughter, who unlike her father, supports and admires what Batman is doing. The girl so advises Batman an easier way to get the information he wants from the telecom wires underground. Thanks to Barbara's help, Batman can now identify the murder victim as not Black Mask's civilian identity of Roman Sionis, and the murderer as someone new who has kidnapped Sionis to the bank he owns in North Gotham. On the way there, Batman is however forced to save an Alice from the Mad Hatter in Wonderland before he can head to the bank. At the bank, Batman finds lots of corpses and 2 black masks, one without the mask, and when the masked one unmasks himself, he is revealed as some guy with a skin condition. Batman deduces that this Joker was posing as the Black Mask and running his operations since the murders, and hired the assassins. The Joker happily confirms this before leaving with Sionis on a cash-loaded ambulance, and leaves Batman in the blast radius of the exploding bomb. But since this game is from before Batman got his plot armor taken away from him, he survives the explosion, and is able to interrogate the goons left to clean up the scene on where the Joker is going. The intel he gets leads Batman to the steel mill in northwest Gotham. However, in exiting the bank, Batman is peacefully approached by one of the assassins, who instead of trying to kill him, makes him go through a test to save an innocent life, after they killed a guilty life. After saving the innocent and finding the guilty dead, Batman confronts Lady Shiva about the dead police officer, and they fight. Ultimately, Lady Shiva gets bored of prolonging a fight that she could have finished early on, and leaves the game never to be seen again in the Arkham series. Batman heads to the steel mill, where he finds Roman Sionis held captive by his own, now deflected men, and while interrogating him, Batman gets ambushed and poisoned by another assassin. Sionis flees as Batman collects a sample of the Copperhead poison, and has Alfred synthesize an antidote for him at the Batcave. Unfortunately, the antidote arrives via airdrop, and Batman is forced to fight Copperhead while drugged on her poison. And I ended up losing once against her here.
I bet you never expected the end to come like this.
That shouldn't work. Through the Kevlar plater. Sweet. After winning against her, Copperhead reveals that the Joker has called all the assassins for a meeting and could tell where they are. But fortunately, Alfred has managed to isolate the frequency of the electrocutioner's gloves for recapturing purposes, so Copperhead inadvertently already told Batman how to find the Joker. But then, before Batman gets the chance to find the electrocutioner's frequency, yet another assassin pulls him aside to save another hostage back at the bank. And this Deadshot encounter was really tough with all the other gunmen at the bank. I won against Deadshot on my 5th attempt after dying and having the hostage getting killed on my previous tries. I try to take the others before going after him. I try to save the hostage before taking it. What the hell am I supposed to do here? With half of the assassins now defeated, it was time to follow the electrocutioner's frequency to the southeast part of Gotham, to the Gotham Royal Hotel, and get in through the parking lot. Once Batman has managed to secure the lobby and gain access to the reception's computer, the Joker and the remaining 3 assassins are revealed to be up in the penthouse suite. And to make Batman's job easier, the Joker kills the electrocutioner for his poor work performance, and throws him down to the lobby below, where Batman can take his electric gloves and make fighting armored goons much easier. With the wonderful new toys that he got from Deathstroke and the electrocutioner, Batman makes through all the traps the Joker has left for Batman in climbing up the hotel. He also gets spotted by a news chopper before getting picked down by Bane, who gives the Joker 1 exact minute to taunt Batman before they fight. At this point, Alfred gets worried for the safety of the young man he has raised, and calls in the GCPD to provide supportive distractions that force Bane to retreat and shoot back at the disagreeing Joker, making him fall off the roof. Batman then reactionary saves the Joker from falling, likely to just have him be taken in alive for the police.
Why would you do that? Newsflash! I'm the one who's trying to kill you!
The Joker.exe stops working, and then requires a reboot over a Joker-controlled sequence during this psychiatric evaluation at Blackgate by Dr. Harleen Quinzel. While that is happening, Batman returns to the Batcave with his thoughts back at his parents' death because this is a Batman game. However, he cannot allow himself to turn in for the night as there are still 2 assassins on the loose, and overhearing about the police report on a Venom user at the morgue, Batman heads out once more. Before leaving, Batman and Alfred have an argument about their operations and Bruce's chances of survival, but they forget and forgive by the time Batman has returned to South Gotham. At the GCPD morgue, Batman learns that Bane is not the cadaver, but learns of a Venom-related disturbance happening in Southwest Gotham. Investigating this disturbance leads Batman to the Bane's Lieutenant Bird, and after shutting down their Venom operations, a tracker Batman had thrown at Bane activates somewhere in northwest Gotham. While on his way there, Batman also finds Roman Sionis hiding in the church, but not even the presence is there to protect him from Batman's catch rate by now. Bane's hideout is in the sewers, where Batman fights 2 groups of Bane's mercenaries before finding the discriminating evidence of Bane having managed to create his own version of Venom called TN1, which is supposed to be the justification of how Bane ends up as he is in Arkham Asylum. And Bane has also managed to figure out Batman is Bruce Wayne based on a line of words they both have used. Alarmed, Batman calls Alfred to warn him about Bane probably coming for them at the Wayne Manor, but before climbing his way out of the sewers, the police radio reports about Firefly having hostages and bombs on the bridge between the northern and southern islands. So Batman has to deal with that before returning to the Batcave. After distracting Firefly away from the bridge to get there with the Batplane, Batman beats the police outside the bridge entrance and thinks that after that, Captain Gordon would listen to him when warning about the bomb threat. Naturally, Gordon does not believe Batman after all the cops he has beaten up, so he has to run around the bridge to save the hostages and defuse the bombs after getting their number and locations from Firefly's men. Batman manages to defuse 3 bombs and rescue the hostages, before he is forced to climb up to the bridge to fight goons and attract Firefly's attention, leading to the boss fight, in which Batman has to throw batarangs and glue grenades at Firefly before he can detonate the last bomb and beat him up until the pyromaniac's wingsuit no longer keeps him in the air. Once Firefly is left tied for the police to find, Batman throws the no longer working trigger to Gordon as a "I told you so" and resumes to getting back to the Batcave. On the way there, Bane calls him from the Batcomputer and lets him know Alfred is just barely alive for the goodbyes. Reaching the cave, Batman finds Alfred at the bottom of a large pit and is forced to say goodbye to the man who raised him after his parents died. Luckily, as this is a prequel game, Batman is able to resuscitate Alfred with the electrocutioner's gloves as defibrillators. But otherwise, the drama and dread in this scene is portrayed well enough as character development between Bruce and Alfred. While Alfred recovers, the police radio reports about the Joker and Bane having taken over Blackgate in the second riot of the night, and so whatever doubts Bruce has about being Batman have to be put aside in order to deal with them. Batman beats his way through the prison, rescuing guards and a certain doctor before directed to the Panopticon. On the way there, Batman has to beat up a lot of prisoners and say hi to Deathstroke in his cell, before fighting the Joker and Bane, who give him an ultimatum with an electric chair and a heart monitor. Batman has to either kill Bane or kill the Joker by letting the heart monitor on Bane charge the electric chair that the Joker is sitting on. As they fight, Batman gets the idea to use his electric gloves to stop Bane's heart temporarily, to fool the Joker to believe he killed Bane, and resuscitates Bane after the Joker runs off. Bane, however, does not appreciate his resurrection, and retaliates by taking the TN1, which turns him into the hulking giant with minimal intelligence, as he is seen in 2009's Batman Arkham Asylum game. After an agonizingly long and antagonizing fight in the highway of hide and seek, Batman manages to get Bane to hit enough electrified cell doors until he is restrained. The following cutscene also establishes that Bane forgot Batman's secret identity as Bruce Wayne thanks to TN1. Now all Batman needs to do is help Captain Gordon and Warden Joseph to recapture the Joker in order to return order to the prison. Batman confronts the Joker in the prison chapel where they fight one last time after Batman has let the Joker know that Bane never died. Batman then punches the Joker enough times to make Joker.exe register as his best friend and be left to be incarcerated. The story campaign ends with Captain Gordon talking to his daughter in how this night has changed a lot of things and how he will likely start working with Batman in going forward. The game also has a post-credit scene of Deathstroke being approached by Amanda Waller, but that does not lead to anywhere, as he was not a part of the Suicide Squad in either the Assault on Arkham movie or in the upcoming Kill the Justice League game. As this was originally just a placeholder made to pass time before Rocksteady got finished with Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins did not get the best possible launch or reputation when it came out. However, as a prequel set outside of the Arkham trilogy, this game managed to stand well on its own with some minor flaws in its story and gameplay. The gliding was somewhat heavier than what I would have preferred to. Batman was literally unable to climb a railing and a container. Come on. You... One leg goes there, and then you put your hand up there, and you climb yourself up there. It's not that hard. It's not supposed to be that hard. And as the game progressed, the counter button seemed to start losing its effects by not having Batman react to the counter warnings at all. The story was also kind of loose with its side activities, making it rather difficult to believe it all took place over one night from 8 PM on Christmas Eve to, 4 AM on Christmas Day. In fact, all the Arkham games have suffered a lot from this, and I really hope that W Montreal, who made this game, adds a proper day and night cycle to Gotham Knights to help with the story's pacing. There were some nods to Batman's earlier stories like Year One and The Long Halloween with some character cameos, but with the way how the story went, we never got to go anywhere with them. In fact, while some of these cameos took place, I kept thinking about how great it would have been if this game had been given a Dark Victory kind of follow-up with a Robin and a Batgirl origin stories. But those probably couldn't have worked with the one-night setting formula that Arkham series used. The voice cast was serviceable with Roger Craig Smith voicing a younger Batman who still had a lot of growing ahead of himself, and Troy Baker was a serviceable Joker in not only making a similar performance as Mark Hamill on his own way, but also in utilizing his vocal talents in simulating Brian Bloom's voice when posing as Black Mask. But there were also some moments where badly written dialogue did disservice to Troy Baker's performance. So, Arkham Origins was not a perfect game, but it sure has aged well since 2013. Maybe even better than Arkham Knight, which it was paving the way for. Mostly because its ending had a proper way of going towards something, and Arkham Knight just ended with a big WTF moment that never got a follow-up. The upcoming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is supposed to be set in the same continuity as Arkham games, but right now I just feel apathy towards the series after how it was left off. The good that this game had was also mostly in what could have been after the story it told. The Christmas theme was likely what gave me the idea to stream my playthrough during the holidays, and I likely played through it again after some time has passed. Now it's time for me to ask you to like the video, comment your thoughts down below, share to whomever you deem interested on it, and subscribe to know when I have more videos coming out. Also, ding the bell to know when I decide to stream again. And may your heart be your guiding key.